for motorcycle mechanic and enthusiast. Bike service specialty service package was available for the DIY and professional market sector. Bike service tools available. Outstanding value for money, and they're the individual sponsors of the Robert Holden Memorial Trophy, of course, the one-off race at Wanganui at the end of this series, with, of course, the news that we never had a Robert Holden last year. So there we are, courtesy of Bike Service.
Sidecar action. Now remember, these people qualified in the wet, so first try run for them, and it's Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson off there, and a good start off pole, but watch the big red Honda of Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. They got into a good clean second place, so watch for them after, well, they've had a few wins over the last years, more than anyone else. And look at that bike fly into second place, and that looks like the Smith Shorter combination. Robbie Shorter doing the passengering, and Barry Smith, number 18, got a new machine for this year, and it looks like they've gone into second place, so we wait for them to come out of the hairpin for the first time. Sidecar action. There it is, the Aaron Lovell Dennis Simonson machine. Yep, the Smith Shorter combination in second, followed by the big Honda, the Boss Engineering bike of Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. Look at that, the old boy of the sport, 60-something years old in his fourth spot there. Alex and Glenn McDonald gone out and bought himself a new bike in his 60s, and he's fourth on the track there, and I can't quite see who's in fifth place, but sidecar action, big field out there. There's about, in fact, I'll tell you what, not about, there's 16 bikes out there on the track at the moment, and 8-lap race here at Hampton Downs. Watching for the flying Lovell machine coming over the hill there for the first time, but the dice is on for second, and it is indeed the Boss Engineering machine, Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr going through there. 29 18. We're looking out for the McDonald's father and son team. There's the Lawrence brothers coming through, and the little 600 of the girls, the New Zealand. Who was that went round there? Wow, that was Smith Shorter, wasn't it? They did a big spin there, missed that one, and they stayed on the track, so lucky for them. I bet their undies need a bit of tidying out. The teams, the ladies team there in sixth spot now, Tracy Bryan and Tina McEwen.
Well, watched it going down into turn number one. Lucky I had my eye on that at the time, Spider, and just caught them. The boys started to go in there and backed it in, and he had the forethought to keep it sideways and just do the little flick, so they scrubbed all their speed and spun, but they actually ended up doing a complete 360 and been able to carry on the track, so that is an amazing recovery. That could have been a lot worse, and all the other riders, of course, was seeing a well-worked yellow flag. There was and still led to fourth place, no, don't think no further back than that is all. Okay, we'll be keen to pick up. We'll be keen to pick up and get the idea. But certainly it is the number 3 of Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson on the Goffscat TWL Elf Career Success Foundation bar, Waikato Sandblasting, World of Tyres, Vac-Pack Services, LCR 1000, number 3 back in New Zealand. Aaron Lovell on the Elf lubricated unit ahead of 29 this time, Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. Out of the Boss Engineering stables, Mawson Accounting Oil Changes, Hamilton and Elf Oils as well. So Elf Lubricants, choice of champions, and born to breed success out of Formula 1. And Elf Lubricants as used by both of our 2 front runners, first and second, so 3 and 29 at the moment on their Elf lubricated Suzuki powered unit. So good work out there at the moment. So it's Aaron and Adam, and the update, keen just to pick up on the others, but that for me is a good advantage, Spider, by Aaron Lovell. A good start, and with Adam and Stu in behind him, those two have got to do something wrong to lose it now. Well, they may have to do, but definitely the bike number 29 in second spot is the fastest on the track at the moment, so they can see the distance. They may be able to hunt them down. We go back to bike number 18 in third spot. There's a Smith Shorter combination, the old boy of the sport team, well, one of the old boys, 60-something years old, is Alex and Glenn McDonald, father and son. The brother team of Chris and Richie Lawrence there in fifth spot. Looks like they've been tackled on there, and then we go down to the 2 girls there on the little 600 machine. Other bikes out there, I haven't seen much of number 84, the Farm Boys from Wanganui. They have their good days and their not so good days. They're on another little wee 600. We call these Formula 1 sidecars. It is just one class. Every now and then we have a Formula 2 class, but not very often. So, coming over the hill here, who's that? There's the New Zealand champions, the current New Zealand champions, Spike Taylor and Astrid Hartnell. They don't seem to be having the best days at the moment, currently running in about 6th spot, but still the fastest on the track after 3 laps of 8.
is Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. They're 0.2 of a second quicker than the lead bike, so maybe they can edge it away. My gut feeling is they can't quite do that, and Aaron Lovell has been around, former New Zealand champion. He'll know he's got a bit of a buffer there. He'll get the signals in that, and he'll know just how far to keep it in front. And currently there's about a 4 to 5 second lead as they come out of the dipper there. And we go back to the luckiest people in the racetrack at the moment. The Smith-Shorter combination there had a big spin off the end of the front straight. Very rarely you see a sidecar spin at this sort of speed and actually stay up the right way, but they managed to do that, so they're holding a good solid third spot. Fourth is still up for question with Alex and Glenn McDonald on the LCR, or it's a window I think, machine being hotly pursued by the Lawrence brothers there. As I say this, the Lawrence brothers go up on the inside. That's a big tight move for a sidecar going on the tight line there. They've gone up into about 5th spot. So there goes Stu Dorr, the Adam Unsworth on bike number 29, the bike preferred by former New Zealand champion Vince Sturr, and pretty well faultless. I've very rarely seen this bike break down. The bike's about 26, 27 years old. The guys, of course, are a little bit older than that, but there it is. So the Lawrence boys have gone in, like I said, they went in on the McDonald's there and have capitalised on them. They're starting breaking. There's Pete the Pirate with Darren Prentice in the sidecar, and one of the long-time sidecar riders in New Zealand, Bert Wallen, with Neville Mickelson doing the swinging. He's just gone up on the turn 1 and gained another position, Neil.
Spider, great to see Chris and Richie Lawrence up there. They're the only ones that have picked up a placing during that last lap, but as we know, of the highs and lows of those two boys, they've had their personal moments. Swinger and the two brothers to be back together again and fast improving through that field to get up to 4th place. And there we go, that brilliant red, white and blue that we've seen for so many years. Now, of course, with the R1 engine, the Henderson machine, Maxima Royals, FFM helmets, and the Ugly Fish Sunnies and Red Barrel. And, of course, back together for our SuzukiSeries. So fantastic to have Chris and Richie with us. They've been the big movers.
All right, our race leaders have picked up the pace and nearly a full second quicker than second spot. Don't know what went on there. Leading, they were sort of slowly, the second place was getting in there and edging away, but now they're running at a 1:13, a 1:12.1. The next quickest bike on the track is a 1:13, so 0.9 quicker. So it's track definitely, they're getting away further and further.
Just down into the pits already, Spider, Daisy, James, Warren Miller, the LCR, the new bike for the boys. They've been having some problems. They haven't been circulating it anywhere near. So they've pulled out, done the right thing and gone to the pits because they were only becoming a mobile chicane, unfortunately. So wishing them all the best as they cruise back in there. But Des James, one of the characters, and nice to see Des now with a machine like this and not just a short car like he's had in the past, but a real Formula 1 sidecar. So I hope they can get things sorted out. Yeah, it's taken a while to come to get to grips with the machine. A lot of people that get off the shorter bikes with the engine underneath get onto the long ones with the engine in behind them, and because it's it's almost 30% longer, they do have a bit of time to learn out the different characteristics. But Des James is definitely learning that. There goes Aaron Lovell, former New Zealand champion, and his passenger who is a couple of times New Zealand champion. They're a country mile ahead. Here comes a bit of a battle on for second and third place. We've still got Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr on number 29, but the Smith-Shorter combination have closed right in on them as they go off the dip of the turn here, turn 1 here at Hampton Downs. There's maybe 2 to 3 bike lengths in it. They had an early spin. The Dawes and Unsworth combination opens it up a bit as they go down that short straight, but it seems to me that the Smith-Shorter machine has the brakes there. Robbie Shorter and Barry Smith. Barry Smith doing the driving or the riding, and it seems to me he has it onto the brakes coming in there. We'll watch him coming out of the hairpin. We see Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson disappear out of the dipper there, and now we're coming across lap traffic. So number 29 gets through cleanly, and I guess that they're going to be held up for, yeah, definitely, that's what's happened there. Number 29, Adam Unsworth, gets through nice and clean, held up a little by David MacArthur. Wasn't David MacArthur's fault whatsoever. He took a good racing line. It just happened to be the luck of the draw of the gods. There's the Lawrence brothers. They've broken away, and they've got 120 metres over the Christchurch team of Alex and Glenn McDonald. Glenn's being the son on the side, and Alex. Astrid Hartnell and Spike Taylor there on the New Zealand 1 bike. New Zealand Championships, not even the best of days, in about 6th or 7th place. The sidecar wheel comes up in the little 600. That's nothing unusual with this bike. It's probably the most nimble bike on the track, and very, very capably piloted by Tracy Bryan. Used to have Joanne Mickelson passengering for many years. Joanne's gone to live in Australia, so taken on the new passenger, Tina Sturtson. And I'll tell you what, it's not even easy to get on an existing ride. She hasn't got a lot of experience in the side.
and I take my hat off to her. She's doing very, very well and enjoying herself, which is the main thing. That's what we're all here to do. Here comes Joe Mickelson's father, swinging on the bike, number 16 of Bert Wallens here, on the Hooper Engineering sponsored Joe Pratt-owned machine.
96, David MacArthur and Dean Hodgson. Racing car, and that was the bike that Mary and Robbie had for years, so they sold that and then moved on to their
white flag. In fact, there's a checkered flag. There's a checkered flag out there. Lovell takes another one, had a clean slate at the Barry Sheen Memorial Race. Second place, look at the second place coming over here. There's nothing in, there's about little 29 goes in for second. Not quite enough there for Barry Smith and Robbie Shorter to get up there, but not for the Wanta trying. They survived an awesome spin earlier on. I missed it, but as a former sidecar passenger, New Zealand Championship winner 3 times, I know full well how tough that will be to keep that bike on and for the passengers to stay on. There's the Lawrence brothers on the Yamaha New Zealand sponsored bike number 11. Chris and Richard Lawrence going through there. 1NZ, Spike Taylor and Astrid Hartnell, followed by Glenn and Alex McDonald, and we're looking out the distance expecting the girls to come over possibly next. In fact, it is... No, the girls have slowed off. There is Michael Walland and... Michael Walland and Neville Mickelson, so looking out there. I wonder where the girls are, the pink machine. They should have been amongst that lot, so unusual for them to have a DNF, so can't see any yellow flags out anywhere, but that's another spectacular sidecar race here. Looks like a whole lot of marshals coming out at the hairpin, so I don't know whether that's Tracy Bryan and passenger Tina Sturtson, but they definitely went missing from the mix here. Congratulations, Aaron.